been times where I've done virtual therapy with Kingston and he like literally is like, bye, and he clicks it and turns it off.
Yeah, like 5 or 10 minutes into the session, we're like, you're done?
So speaking of chasing the standard, let's talk about the Broncos real quick, obviously.
Good segue.
The Chargers fan base is really, really cool, really, really welcoming, mostly, especially if you're at SoFi.
The preparation for...
Where's my Jayhawk question at, man? That's what I want to know.
It's coming right here.
Oh, if they take one message from this book, I would say not to compare yourself with others.
So let's talk about the AFC West quarterbacks, Austin. So why don't you kick us off with talking about the number one position in the division and in all of football? So go ahead and lead us off.
All right. So I guess I'll start with the QB1 of the division, Patrick Mahomes. I think we're just going to go off strengths real quick. It's kind of hard for me to know what his strengths will be coming off that injury because, I mean, his strength is kind of rolling out, extending plays, and doing that. So I don't know. That's going to be a tough one on his strengths. I mean, his arm strength is still good. His accuracy has actually gotten a little worse, especially on deep throws over the last couple years. I don't know if that's more, receivers kind of suck or, just not getting separation or anything. But I mean, I still think if you're going just his strength, it's leadership. You can knock Mahomes all you want, but he's a good leader in that locker room. So I still feel like Mahomes is kind of a question mark coming into this season, right? You don't really know how he's going to recover style-wise, right? Play style-wise with the leg injury. He can't make some of those, or you'd like to think he won't be able to make some of those, acrobatic type of rolling out throws. So I'm curious to see if we keep him in pocket a little bit more. Do we go under center? What do we do with him? But strengths, leadership, we don't have all the hardware we have over the last decade without his leadership. So definitely that for strength with Mahomes.
I wish Rashee Rice got that conversation with Mahomes about leadership and all that good stuff, but
I don't even know if that's leadership. Like some people are just immature, right? Like at some point you have to take accountability for yourself still. And he's lacking that. That's a whole nother conversation. But for the most part, we'll keep it on the field and in the huddle. There's not many other quarterbacks I'd rather have leading the team, especially when it matters the most than Mahomes. So, Rice could be a whole different thing, but we won't go there. Things that Mahomes must improve on this season. Again, we hear it, a lot of it is RPOs. A lot of this, I think he just has to trust Kenneth Walker this year. Doing a little more R than P, which I get the last couple of years why he hasn't, right? Chiefs have been statistically one of the worst running teams in football. You bring in a guy like Kenneth Walker, try to trust it a little bit, right? He should be better than Pacheco. Again, we haven't seen him in the Chiefs system, so we don't know what to expect, but I'd like to think that. But I think he's just going to have to trust people around him a little more, especially coming off the leg injury and early on. Don't put the whole team on your back. Save that for when you're feeling good. So I think he's just going to have to just improve. I guess that can fall under decision making. I don't know if you're able to take that out of a guy like that, but hopefully you can. And I think that last.
Yeah, we'll save the last one. We'll save the last one until the end.
Mahomes, leadership, strengths, and then weaknesses, just decision making and trusting those around him a little bit more. I know they didn't change a lot around him, especially on like the offensive line and in the receiver room, but you got to just trust it. I think that's the only way the offense takes a step forward is trusting the people that's around them.
Does anyone have any additional to add before we go on to the next quarterback?
Yeah, I think the things he must improve on is quit flopping so much.
Yeah, that's good.
It works for him.
Little LeBron.
He's not even the biggest flopper in the NFL, at least.
I call him SGA Junior.
For real.
The other thing I'll say about Mahomes that you didn't mention is one thing that's really underrated is his. I still think he might be one of the between 10 and 20 yards, one of the best throwers of the football. His ability to find soft zones and find receivers in open space right past the sticks is some of the best and what's ultimately led to them winning so many games. His accuracy in that part of the field is pretty much God-worthy, and Travis Kelce is the perfect player for it. Rashid Rice is the perfect player for it. Tyreek was the perfect player for it. I just think he's able to access that part of the field in a way that other players just aren't.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And that's why teams started to run man against us. And then if you look at our basically any passing stat against man, probably bottom of the league. And that goes all the way to even separation created by receivers. And so that's why teams just started running man, 2 deep man, to take away a lot of that. And that's where I think the run game can hopefully open it up for the part of the field you're talking about, right? If you get the linebackers to bite a little bit, just because you actually have a respectable run game, that opens up the part of the field that you just talked about.
But I think we can remember early on, it was he couldn't read the defense right away. Right.
Yeah.
So now I think he now knows where he's going. They have those plays, the short yardage plays. It can be 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 when they're going 4th and inches. They're not running the football necessarily. They do the same. They get them rolling out. It's a misdirection essentially, and they have that flat route perfectly there every time. And he puts it right where Travis or Worthy, whoever it is running that little just straight out right there at the sticks. Those are the things that he can do. One thing that I do want to see, if with the knee coming off such a knee injury, is he's one of the better ones at extending the plays. Right. It's always the Mahomes magic. I'm going to extend it. I'm going to get, extra 5 to 7 seconds back here in the pocket. Does that affect him now coming off this injury? Is the line going to be able to hold up to what he's usually able to do to get those guys down the field and or to let Travis find that soft spot in the zone that Ethan was alluding to? So it's one of those where we don't really know what this is going to look like coming off that kind of an injury. And is he going to learn how to get down right, early, at least early on, until he can kind of feel, get a feel for what the game is again, right? So not learning to not take those hits.
Well, this could get him to do the one thing he's never really done, and that's use his checkdowns, right? Now you're going to have Walker, D. McCardo, and Emmett Johnson, Brashard Smith. You saw when he did that the year he had McKinnon, when McKinnon went on that crazy touchdown, that he had somebody he trusted, so he actually checked it down quite a bit. Does this get him to do that a little bit more? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a big question, but pre-injury Mahomes, these would have been very easy things for me to talk about. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what that's going to look like, especially the first portion of the season. We don't know. He's going to have to kind of redefine himself a little bit, which makes it very difficult.
I think this kind of goes back on, you add Eric Bieniemy, you kind of relook at your playbook in terms of what Andy Reid does to kind of protect Mahomes, because last season with Xavier Worthy being injured, you saw Mahomes basically having to do it all himself. He was almost single-handedly keeping them in games. And then, if I'm not mistaken, last season, even after his injury, he led the team in rushing. You shouldn't have your quarterback leading the team in rushing. I think, Austin, to your credit, you pointed this out several times throughout the season where they don't have a strong running back room. I mean, Kareem Hunt does okay, but you really don't have a guy that you can just hand the ball off to and you're going to get 20 rushes out of him and, he's going to take a load off of Mahomes. He's having to elude, and it doesn't help with the offensive line injuries. So I think this kind of makes this coaching staff really look, and Mahomes has been really good about eluding pressure and sliding when needed, but this is going to be on the coaching staff to have that check down ready to go. Can Kenneth Walker be that 15 to 17, touches every game that gives Mahomes and that offensive line a break to where he can just go in between the tackles? He knew what he needs to do to alleviate that stress, because if the run game is working, you won't see so many of that man anymore, because now they've got to worry about, is a play action coming? Is the run coming over here? Where's the screen game going? It just opens up that offense. And then it plays right into Patrick Mahomes' strengths. But I think the Chiefs themselves, they are the ones that need to improve to make Mahomes better. And that starts with, okay, how do we make sure that he doesn't have to use his legs 80% of the time when a play breaks down, because he shouldn't have to put his playing style on the line to like get 3 extra yards. You know, it should be something else. And maybe with Bieniemy coming back, that offense now will have a different dynamic, because under Nagy, we've all said this, they just didn't look like the same explosive Chiefs that we're used to. Maybe that's a Tyreek Hill thing, but with Bieniemy now, maybe this makes the Chiefs look different.
Yeah, I think it's the timing for Nagy couldn't have been good. I don't think it was all him. I think you're spot on. A lot of it is Tyreek. But I think we're all here, and Matt too would agree that you still have to have a resemblance of a run game. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, whoever else you think is, you got to have a run game, something of a run game. And the Chiefs just haven't had that. Some of it's Nagy, some of it's Pacheco. If you ever want to know what it's like for a running back to have no ball carrier vision, just go watch Isaiah Pacheco. Any run, I feel confident that he will display no ball carrier vision. Because every time where the play's designed to go, that's not always where the hole's going to be, right? Sometimes you have to find it and then hit the hole. So not even saying Kenneth Walker is going to come in and have like a Saquon Barkley effect where he runs for 2,000 yards. That's never going to happen under Andy Reid. But if he can make you worry about the run game, that's the minimum he needs to provide. And I think everything we've said about the coaching staff and play calling, I think that can then kind of just fall into place.